During his university years, Jim Chadwick was known as Mr. Activities because he was involved in so many student groups and so many societies. That's a sign of a person who is engaged with his or her community, a practice that he has continued throughout his entire life. Justice Chadwick, who is married to Julie Hayes, the class of 1960. Woo! So he's from the decade, so there's a decade between him and his wife. Notice, he's 50s, she's 60s. My wife and I have the same thing. And I'm happy to say their 2 sons and daughter are also ex-grads. His involvements include extensive experience in civil and criminal law, gained from 24 years in private practice, followed by 15 years as a highly respected judge of the Superior Court of Justice of the province of Ontario. Justice Chadwick has been a strong advocate for the use of alternative dispute resolution procedures to ease the burden on the courts. He currently works as a mediator, arbitrator, and a facilitator. His expertise has been widely sought after in Canada and around the world. Despite his many achievements, Jim is not one to seek the spotlight, so let's bring it up tonight. When he was called to inform him of this award, his response was actually a few moments of silence, and then he said, "You really want me to come to my 50th reunion, don't you?" Hail and health. Jim, we are absolutely delighted that you're here with us this evening. It is our honor and our pleasure to present the Honorable Jim Chadwick with the 2009 Distinguished Alumnus Award.
Thank you very much, Ed. Now I know who's making all the noise across the hall. I'll call him at 3 o'clock in the morning. When I received the notification that I was going to be honored with this award, no one told me what it was about and the reason for the nomination. In fact, tonight when I was talking to Rosemary McClellan, who received this award the first time, I asked her, "What's this all about anyways? Do they ever tell you why you're receiving it?" I thought it was like a lottery that you finally, your name came up and you happened to win it. But I am indeed honored to have received this, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate the Alumni Association for all their endeavors in working with all of the alumni throughout Canada and the United States and throughout the world. This is a night really for socializing and getting to see some of our old friends and acquaintances. You'll be pleased to know that my remarks will be quite brief. The first thing is that being here tonight, I'm sure all of you, and especially in my class of 59, reflect upon the fact that this is quite a milestone in our life. You see birthdays come and you see birthdays go, and you reach certain pinnacles in our birthdays, but being in your 50th year of graduation from an institution like St. FX is certainly a major accomplishment. And it was really brought home this morning when 3 of our classmates celebrated Mass, and we attended at the chapel at 11 o'clock, and the names of the deceased members of our class were read out, and Maura tells me that there's 59 members of the class of 59 that are deceased. So it's really something to think about. Personally, I'm very indebted to St. FX for what they've done for me. As some of you know, I arrived at this university without a high school background, having dropped out of high school. I met a couple of St. FX geologists in northern Quebec, and they talked me into going back to school. And in true fashion of St. FX, we decided to call the Reverend Father Bauer, who was the registrar of the university. Unfortunately, it was 2:30 in the morning, and we were in a tavern in La Sarre, Quebec, And Father Bauer, I don't know why he was so groggy when we spoke to him. I'm sure our conversation was quite clear at 2:30 in the morning. But in any case, he asked me about my education. When I told him I didn't have much, he sort of gulped and said, well, anyways, he said, get those 2 reprobates you're with back to the university. I won't guarantee anything. I'll see what I can do for you. So I got here, and Father Bauer was very kind. He bent the rules. He allowed me to come in as a mature student, and all of my classmates will attest to the fact that this is the biggest misnomer that ever has happened, because I was probably the least mature student on the whole campus. I know some of my other classmates also got a break from Father Bauer, and we were so pleased that we got into the university, and as a result of that, went on to law school and the practice of law, and subsequently judgeship. Having said that, while we were at X, we met a lot of people. We met a lot of people from all around Canada, the United States, and in particular, the foreign students we met from that were attending the Coady Institute. And it's amazing how much influence the meeting of all these people had upon our education. And also, coming from Upper Canada, as they say down here, I learned a lot about the Maritimes, and I think I could honestly say, and notwithstanding Julie's from the Maritimes, I can honestly say that it's really like our second home. And we learned a lot about the hardship of some of the people who working in the Maritimes, such as the coal miners, both in Cape Breton and all the hardships they underwent in carrying out their occupations, and the day-to-day hazards they had. And we were here when the Spring Hill disaster took place, and that was true emphasis on drama and disaster. And we learned about the fishermen and the hardships, the financial hardships they were undergoing, and how Fathers Coady and Tompkins helped them in organizing cooperatives and the fishermen's unions, basically. On a more positive note, we are all indebted to the priests, the sisters, and the professors at St. FX for the education they gave us. And it was interesting when Dr. O'Reilly was talking at the opening, or speaking at the opening, was saying in the class of 1959, we should have made more noise. Well, I think we realized that the priests knew a lot more about what was going on than we thought they did. We didn't get away with too much. Even Father O'Keefe, who kept an eye on the liquor store, I think knew what was going on, especially in the spring when the beer cans started to appear on the lawns in front of Aquinas and some of the other places. One of the things that the professors and priests and sisters instilled upon us was the compassion for your fellow man or woman. And as we graduated, we realized the benefits we received from our education, not only from what has been taught to us, but from the lifetime association we've made with our classmates and other people in the other classes. In addition, the anti-Gadish movement shows what we can do with a community and help organize a community, and I think it instilled in all of us to become involved in helping others. And we talk about change, and you saw the presentation that was put forward, an excellent presentation. And I mean, we walked this, as you can see, in 1959, there's no comparison to what the campus is now. And it's an amazing coming back to this campus and seeing what's happened. They even have street signs now, which we didn't have in those days. And the other, of course, most important aspect is the liquor store is just down the street, and I see students coming back from it without being caught. So it must be a wonderful experience. The younger graduates, some people say, well, the younger graduates don't have the spirit, but all of the younger graduates I've met from St. FX all have the spirit of X. They're proud of the university, they're proud of their alumni, and they're proud to wear the X ring. So in closing, Julie and I look forward to the weekend and seeing our classmates and socializing with the people. I am sure that X will continue to be the top undergraduate school in Canada. And once again, I thank the Alumni Association for the honor, and hail and health to all of you.
Right,